We were in our mid-30s when we started with this forest. We started this from seed, and now it's so tall. So never expecting to see trees reach any kind of height or width, but they have. The trees are like my children. I'm not saying I know every square inch of this property, but I feel like I do. And I know the story of the different trees and how they came to be here and how they're doing. So for many years, this big backyard was an agricultural field. And when we decided to turn it into a forest, it had a lot to do with being here on the south shore of the Bay of Quinte. There's very little unhuman habitat for animals. And back before settlers, the bay would have attracted all sorts of wildlife to this great big watering hole. And we just wanted to create that kind of habitat. This was a cornfield, and when we were still farming grains. And then in the 90s, throughout the 90s, we were certified organic, and so these were vegetable and herb fields down here. And I was working in town, and I would come home and want to walk the dog in the woods, and our woods on the farm is way, way back. And then we thought, why don't we just pull back entirely and make the woods for walking the dog right here. Give up our view of the bay in return for walking paths and the bay as sort of a destination. And so we took a habitat approach. And I'm a nature lover. And this is my property that I've been naturalizing for about the last 45 years. From a cornfield to a forest, and now the challenges of climate change and age. But to make this a refuge and a nursery and just a habitat for our neighbors who are not human. This was one of the first oak trees we planted, and it was just about a foot long, just a skinny little whip of a thing, and it's done really well. Very exciting to see. And this white pine, same thing, it was just 6 inches when we put it in. The birds planted quite a few of them, but we planted thousands here. This horse chestnut, which is, you can see the beautiful blooms. This mountain ash tree, which is a rowan tree we planted when our first granddaughter was born. Her name's Rowan. And I see it's got some real problems this year. But lots of new growth happening, so hopefully it'll be fine. And this tree, this bush, a lace cap hydrangea, some dear friends gave me when my mother died as a memorial tree for my mother. All the evergreens here were 6-inch seedlings when we got them from the Ministry of Natural Resources. And the deciduous trees, like the silver maples, the ash, they were just whips, about foot-long whips, like just the seedlings. So it's been certainly interesting watching everything grow and develop. I wasn't even young when we planted this. Like, we didn't start doing this till we were over 35. And someone could possibly think some of these trees are mature. I know they're not. I know they're all just kids yet, given how long some species of trees can last. The thing with planting trees is today is the right day to do it. Obviously, it's best to plant them in spring and in fall and to baby them the first year, sometimes the first 2 years, if there's sometimes longer, if it's a really droughty year like it was last year. My granddaughter Paige won this little crooked house in a competition at the Gananoque Theatre. She knew she would win it. She insisted on getting the ticket, even though it took the last of her summer money, because she knew she'd win it. This is pretty taken out by a storm, but this lilac is actually from my parents' house in Calgary, Alberta. Native trees given to me by my colleagues at Loyalist when I retired, because they know me. So, come Lucy. This is a piece of farm equipment my father-in-law invented, put together, and the beams he used, the big metal beams, it was too heavy to pull behind the tractor. But here's the remains of a little hand plow, and it would have been used by my husband's great-great-grandparents or uncle or great-great-uncle or somebody. One morning, a serious birder came and did a bird count down by the bay, and he counted 53 species of birds. That was during migration season. That was without going further back on the farm or further up into the yard. I've seen 4 different species of woodpeckers here, including the pileated. And there was an indigo bunting here last week, which wasn't expected to be in this area, but it was here and very colorful. The woodpeckers have been very busy with holes. This, to me, isn't terribly attractive. It's tremendously useful to other species. The birds do a lot of work, of course, bringing in seeds of various plants. We planted thousands. For the evergreens, 6-inch seedlings, and for the deciduous, about a little whip like so. And then quite a few from seed also. A lot of the oaks, the pignut hickories, honey locust, we planted from seed. Yeah, a lot of the black walnuts also. So, nut trees largely. There was a grouse nesting here, and with the most adorable little chicks, and my old dog was very curious. So the poor mother was so panicked, so attacking the dog, like this, you know, yelling at the dog, chasing it, and the dog's so much bigger than her. But so much comes down on the paths that it's always clearing them. So I just put it along the edge, and it'll create a mossy berm over time, a little hill covered in green moss, which I think will look very pretty along the paths. But also it helps keep everybody out so the grouse can nest, have the chicks, not be bothered. So it's like, okay, this is for wildlife, this is for humans and dogs. See, this says white pine here. When my grandkids were little, they're now 26 and 24, but when they were little, I got them a wood burner because I'd enjoyed one so much when I was a kid. I thought if they make signs for the trees, they'll have fun doing the craft, and it'll help them learn the trees. But they seem to already know the trees, so they seem to know everything, bless them. So smart. These 2 oak trees we were given after participating in a fundraising walk for a village in Mexico for water. And at the end of the walk, so everybody who wanted was given a little tree to take. And this is a bur oak, and they take forever to grow. So it was probably 10 years and it was still like this. So the oak trees are very special. They're a hardwood. Different species of oak, black walnut, horse chestnut, pignut hickory, different species of maples, and then the odd, last year I put in 2 pawpaws, which was interesting, and shagbark hickory, gifts from my daughter. Last year I only put in 10 trees. And when I think that in one summer, when we were young, we put in 3,000. And last year I put in 10, and because it was so droughty, it meant carrying water. And apparently that's supposed to be the way it is this year. This is a little red oak, and then starting to get some height, and when autumn comes, it is the most glorious red. So there's, I don't know, maybe 100 little red oaks planted throughout the property. Some are only like 8 inches high, and some are very tall now. We're certainly learning a lot about the communication and nurturing that trees do with and for each other, and how mother trees actually feed their young and communicate and protect them. And also there's research now showing that that's interspecies, where a mother tree will care for other species. And there's lots of work being done with planting very densely. So we'll see. They can duke it out, we'll see. Here's a honey locust tree, but I started from seed around 1998, I think, and now this is a baby of its, volunteered. And this one is its child. So it's so interesting seeing the generations. Yeah. The trees are like my children. I'm not saying I know every square inch of this property, but I feel like I do. And I know the story of the different trees and how they came to be here and how they're doing. As they grow, and as many of them die for one reason or another, I resist the urge to be heartbroken. I choose to see the way nature rolls on in seasons and phases, and it is tremendously interesting what happens like with these ash trees, gone because of emerald ash borer, and so many of them down and so many more to come down. I'm not going to say it's heartbreaking because it's what is, and it's still interesting to observe. And I am seeing so many interesting fungi growing on the dead woods. There's so much new life comes from them. Mushrooms, different kinds of funguses, like you see woodpeckers, others nesting in the holes. It's natural. It's nature responding to the climate crisis. And the wood is organic matter that over time, and I like to think that there's eons of time left to go here with this natural, who knows. This cherry tree looks healthy, but the bark is already looking kind of blistered, almost burned. Not black, but somehow burned. So it won't be here forever. With climate change, there's more pests moving in, certainly ticks, and the emerald ash borer. So most of our trees, like we've planted thousands of trees, but most of our trees, the predominance were ash trees planted by the birds. And they, emerald ash borer, it was predicted it would wipe out the ash trees. I had no idea it would happen within a year or 2 years. So now with the heavier winds, the big snows, those trees are coming down. The lower canopy are wild cherry trees. They seem to have a disease now, but it's been such a privilege all these years. Just observe and learn and steward, and I've made huge mistakes here that I really regret in terms of bringing in invasive plants. I thought you could have a botanical garden and naturalized area, and when you bring in invasives, they take off. So anyway, it's a sort of touring this place is like a lesson in what not to do as much as what to do. And it's been the greatest teacher of my life and the greatest privilege to be involved in this renaturalization of this, what is really a small space, but for this area, a fairly big space. So there was a disease that killed almost all the elm trees in this part of the world, Dutch elm disease, and yet little elms keep coming and getting big enough to have seeds for more generations before they die. So as long as some keep coming for the future, eventually they'll start to prevail. At the walk down there, there's many elm. The absolutely largest mistakes is right here, and I regret just so much. I plead ignorance at the time. This was about 40 years ago now. I saw a property that was using vinca as a ground cover, and it looked so beautiful to me and so architectural and sculptural. And I put in 2 sprigs of vinca here, and it's just taking right over and preventing the native plants from coming up. So this is really a terrible mistake. So if you're going to do native planting, if you're going to do renaturalization, be strict with yourself. This is a Chinese lantern. They shouldn't be planted here. They don't belong in this ecosystem. and I control them by mowing the edge. But I do want some because they have beautiful bright orange, the bracts in the autumn. And so I leave some, but I don't let them run. And this area here was an interesting lesson. There's white pines there, but there were also red pines. And then they started all dying and coming down, and didn't know why. And someone from the Conservation Authority told me that the red pines have a long taproot and they resent limestone. And here the soil is nice and deep because this was lake bottom back in the day. So the soil here is beautiful and deep, but it only is so deep. So once that taproot hit the limestone base here, they just started dying. I went to a gardening lecture, and the man who was speaking, he said, if you see holes in leaves in your garden, be glad, because it means it's supporting life. Yeah. The first year of COVID, I was doing an art course and a poetry course. So every day, the mission was to spend time in nature observing and then writing about it. And so I was spending much more time down here every day, hours. And I thought, yes, it was a reminder, this is how life is supposed to be, in touch with nature. There's lots of brush piles around as trees come down, and also from clearing paths, and just wonderful habitat. In fact, I saw one day, I was just sitting, and a morning cloak butterfly walked very purposefully in under it. It was so interesting. It seemed like that was part of its habitat for its life cycle. And I know there's all kinds of various rodents, and there's skunks here, foxes, deer. Once there was a cougar. Our dream was to make this habitat for wildlife, and it really is that. There's been a grouse nesting here. There was a fawn born here. I'm very fond of the vultures, so not everyone is, but I am. And this is the 10th year they've come back to make this their base. They're so interesting. They're so interesting, and so few species are really interested in hurting humans. Like most species are really shy of humans and will get away if they can. And it's just amazing the forms that life takes. Just fantastical, some of them. You know, the indigenous people talk about all our relations. So all of nature is our relations. If I'm afraid of any species, it's humans. Here's some deer antlers. This amused me because I found a piece of wood that looked like a deer head. And I also had a deer head and a piece of wood that looked like antlers, so I swapped them. And this was actually a nice sculpture here years ago. It's just fallen down, but my dad noticed when he put antlers in their garden in Calgary that the squirrels kept eating them, I guess to get the calcium. So same here, somebody's been eating those antlers, and very enterprising, taking care of themselves. It's such a miracle, the dropping of the leaves and the rebirth of the leaves every year. I think it was 3 years ago, a little fawn was born down here, and that was really special, really beautiful. So it's exciting. I had a friend that he and his wife in their city backyard, this was in Kitchener, did this in their city backyard with native trees and native plants and a path through and pond, and it was really beautiful and wild, and it was just in a city backyard. So it's really good for the birds and our cousins, the insects, and everybody to have habitat. We all need habitat.